Janeane. This is KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and this is Get the Funk Out. Standing by to join me is Magi Avila and Michael Warkentin. Did I get that right, Michael?
You sure did.
Okay, excellent. We're going to talk about the film Altitude, Not Attitude, a documentary about Michael. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, I agree.
How did you two meet to decide to make this film?
We met over the film. I was actually interviewing a few directors literally 12 days before I embarked on the trip. And I met Maggie through an acquaintance. He introduced us and we hit it off, and I decided to put it to work, and she put together a crew, and we got it all done in 12 days and left for Europe. Literally.
That sounds like this really fast process.
Yes.
Yes, it was insane. It was insanely fast. It was fascinating to just step up to the challenge. But I really, really, really thought that that was a beautiful project. And I was so glad that he agreed, because he was still like, okay. And so say, Michael, this is a lot of great possibilities to do this. So yes.
Yeah,
now, Gravitas Ventures is going to release this award-winning film, Altitude, Not Attitude, on Apple TV, iTunes on June 8th.
Yes.
And I want to just read the description that's on my show blog. Imagine the nicest, liveliest, most gregarious self-made entrepreneur you could ever hope to meet. This is Southern California born and bred financial advisor, Michael Warkentin. Then recognizing he also happens to be quadriplegic. Could you give us a sense of what happened? I watched the trailer, but if people are not familiar with the trailer.
Well, when I was 22, almost 23, stepped onto an escalator in a mall, and in front of a girl that I was with, and leaned back on the handrail, turned sideways, leaned back on the handrail. I am 6'5", and leaned back and fell over backwards off the top of an escalator, 3 stories down to the ground, and landed on the back of my neck and broke the 5th vertebrae of my neck.
Whoa.
And, you know, it was a horrific accident. I often describe it as a horrible day.
A horrible what?
It was a horrible day. I often describe it that way, but, you know, I didn't let it define me. Mm-hmm. I woke up from it, and shortly afterwards started to think about the idea that, you know, my world's been reshaped, but it's not going to shape me. I want to live a life of purpose and in gratitude, and really affect as many people as possible. And so I've set out every day trying to make everyone and everything around me better than the way I found it. And what's kind of fun about it is it's created in my life a lot of joy, a lot of fun, and a lot of really good relationships with people that I'll know the rest of my life. And,
what a lesson for all of us, Michael.
It is.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to do this documentary, precisely, because it is a perfect example that we all go through challenges, but it is up to us to decide what to do with our day-to-day, how to stay happy, how to become productive, how to overcome and reinvent ourselves.
Yes.
And so that is why this documentary was so important to me to be made, to tell people Michael's story. He's the perfect example of what humanity is all about. We invent life ourselves. We're constantly solving problems ourselves. So yes, he's an amazing, amazing example for that.
Did you feel like you grew as a person, Maggie, as a result of meeting Michael and making the film?
Very much so. Very, very, very much. So many things that he was throughout all of the interviews and through observing him, it was so many things that I have learned through many books, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, and you name them, Les Brown. And he was the embodiment of these things that I was working towards. I mean, we all are in search of our full development, of a full achievement. And so Michael was actually doing these things. It was the end result of so many of these beautiful things that most people my age or even younger and so on, in other ages as well, are pursuing. And so I thought I should continue talking with this man. I should continue a friendship, a business relationship or something. And let me interview you. Let me do your movie. Let me tell you a story, because this is what I think it should be. And so it's a perfect example, because sometimes we don't have access to people that are high achievers, that are overachievers. We don't have this closeness. And this was a perfect opportunity for me to change that. So for me, it was so much change, because always I have been an actress and I have produced other things and such opera concerts, but to do a film is so different, because we think that we know so much, but there's still so much that we don't know. Mm-hmm. And to be a director has been an amazing experience, really, really beautiful. And it has brought out of me great creativity in many ways that I have been having a blast. It's every single day I cried of happiness over something, of happiness. To get to cry from happiness over something is just fantastic. But then to be a producer after everything is done, and to become that producer, to put the film in all of these film festivals and pursue and send many letters, endless letters every single day to so many people, and continue knocking on doors and make things happen. It's been an extreme challenge that I was not even thinking about. Some weeks have been of sleeping only 4 hours per week on average. It's been crazy. It's been bananas. And so it has made me realize that I can do a whole lot more than I was even expecting myself. And it's because, it's something that is bigger than yourself. You get all of this amazing energy because it's so beautiful, wonderful things that are happening, Definitely.
How does it feel to have your life on camera?
It's a little odd. I never really have had a chance in the 20 years, 30 years, actually 30 years in the chair to really look at myself from the outside. And it is a bit revealing and a bit uncomfortable. I kind of revel in the uncomfortable side of it, though.
That's good.
It's, it's a stretch. It's, I'm a bit concerned about it, but I'm kind of going with the flow.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah, what am I going to do? It's already in the can, and the cat's out of the bag. Let's see what happens.
But think about people watching this, Michael, who feel like they're going through something really challenging, and your experiences, your courage to put this on film with the help of Maggie, that could change somebody's trajectory in their life.
Absolutely. I got a phone call this morning from a lady who I went to elementary school with.
Wow.
And I connected with her on Facebook and said, hey, I just want you to check this out. Post it if you'd like it. By the way, share this story, please. But she looked at it. She called me this morning crying. Now, I got to tell you, nothing about this film is sad. Nothing about the film is dark. Nothing about it is heavy. I wanted to share light and happiness and hope and inspiration.
I love it.
And of course, she was bawling her eyes out.
Yeah.
Which is just human nature. But if it can touch people in the middle of all this crisis that we're going through, and all of the fighting and all of the protesting and everything that we've been just really beat up with as a society, if this film can hit the airways and bring people kind of into the light for the hour-long journey that it provides, I feel it's a success.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to do this documentary, and the reason, one of the things that I remember convincing him was that it's a theme that has been present during these past Oscars. The film that was nominated for an Oscar, The Sound of Metal, touches on this subject about being a new normal. Nothing as, okay, things changed, things were shifted, but now I am whole. I can become whole again with whatever happens in our lives. I was just thinking about that before the interview, that there's a lot of people, and that's how, I mean, I asked, I thought a lot about the questions that I wanted to ask Michael during the documentary, and my doctor, my therapist, and everybody else, because the message of this documentary, it's being human and becoming superhuman, becoming stronger and more powerful, and bringing out of our own power, right? And so it is about becoming whole after anything that happens to you. And as we talked about in the documentary, sometimes people are broken or scarred terribly in the inside, and we don't see it,
right?
As in the case of Michael. And at the same time, you see them with so much talent, with so much capability and ability, and so much to do and to give, but they are not. And the reason is because they have something that is holding them back.
Yes, yes.
And so this movie, my intention is to make people realize there is these phases of recovery. And no matter how long it's taking you to overcome one of the phases, move on to the next one, just as Michael did.
Yeah. I feel like it's really fits into the category, well, in many categories, but of mental health, because you really help people shift their perspectives. I mean, in the trailer I watched, you say how you just love life. You're the happiest person. Did you go through a period where you were very depressed?
You know, I was actually lucky enough to come through the accident and not have a lot of baggage pre-accident. I had a healthy upbringing. I had happy parents. I had a normal childhood, no major tragedies to go through.
Great.
And then I fall and break my neck. So what I had to process, maybe as Maggie was saying, there wasn't a lot of built up or issues in my background, in my history to overcome. But about, it was about 11 years after the accident, I had gone through a bunch of family and friend deaths and quite a few other things. And then I totaled a vehicle. Now I drive a car. I drive with my hands and I'm in a wheelchair, which is no easy feat. But I totaled my car. Now there's maybe 20 cars in the whole country that I can drive. And I totaled the car. Yeah, they're not very common. And I totaled my car, and now I had no vehicle, which kind of just ripped apart my whole world.
No mobility, no freedom.
No freedom.
Lost the freedom.
Yeah.
So that kind of spun me into the loss of everything that had happened up to that point. But I had to really soul search and come up with really kind of a method of getting out of that darkness. I found out what made me happy. And that was the question I started asking myself. What's going to make you happy? What's making me happy? What motivates me? And it was that freedom. And it was building a path back into the freedom. Luckily, I found another vehicle. Luckily, I have the resources to purchase the car, the van, I mean, and back on the road of happiness and freedom I was.
Amazing.
But yeah, you know, my biggest trick in life, if there is a trick, is not adding anything up. You know, people say, oh my God, there goes the whole day. I don't let the whole day go to anything.
That's good.
You know,
Very healthy.
Yeah, you just look at one problem at a time. Don't add them up. And you know what? You have a whole free day in front of you.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
What else would you like people to know about the film, Maggie?
I want people to know something that it's one of the reasons I have been crying of happiness lately. Michael is probably going bananas with my text. Michael, guess what happened today? So that the pre-sales and probably some of the sales, depending on who else joined us, are going to go towards charity. The organizations that are helping us spread the word and spread the good message and the good information of the film, they're going to get the proceedings of the film. And so that is why I encourage people to go and buy it. It's on iTunes, it's on Apple TV, and then you can just pre-order right now.
Okay.
And that and also that there were people around that wanted to make the documentary about Michael. I was chatting with a friend about the documentary and my perspective, the theme that I wanted. And it was sort of like, pretty, what is it called? Girls Gone Wild, Spring Break, something like that around Michael, because that was their perspective of happiness.
Okay, they're missing the whole picture.
Yes, and I was like, no, you're fired.
Right, you are fired.
That's going to be the sequel.
That should be the sequel, right?
That'll be the sequel, Girls Gone Wild.
Wouldn't you love that, Michael? And so so on the film, also what I want people to know is that, yes, it is about overcoming and it is about learning about the 6 phases of recovery, but it's also about how to keep a mindset of peak performance.
Yeah.
And that is a theme that people don't talk a lot about. Only high achievers, only people that are in pursuit of higher level of achievement, right? But this, I think, should be talked about since elementary school. People should be talking about focus on doing better than yesterday. Focus on doing better than the day before. Focus on how to make things better constantly, how to be happier, how to make the best of everything.
How about gratitude? Because it sounds like Michael has gratitude.
A lot of gratitude. That is part of it. That is part of it. And so, I mean, the sending the letters, the getting all these people to join us, to work with us, it's a way of, how do we make the most out of this movie? I mean, can you imagine? I was just telling Michael that the kids getting their lenses to become filmmakers thanks to the purchase, to the pre-sales and so on of this film.
Amazing.
I mean, that would be so beautiful. So beautiful. So yes.
I want to mention I put all the information on my show blog, which is getthefunkoutshow.kuci.org. Because I was in my own funk, and I created this show for that reason. I lost a friend of mine, but it gave other people a platform to share their stories, like you're sharing this story. Michael, what advice would you give to somebody who's going through a very hard time right now?
I was very fortunate to grab a book early on during my recovery, we call it. When I broke my neck, I woke up in the hospital. I had to kind of rethink where I was going in life. I had to recalibrate. I had to move forward. You know what? Let that be a divorce.
Yeah.
Let that be a loss of a child or a parent. Let that be a loss of a career. Life-changing events that cause us to have to recalibrate, rethink our opportunities for great things as well.
Yes.
If we make them that way. The book I got a hold of was Feeling Good. And it was a comparison of different therapies, cognitive versus Freudian versus Gestalt, and figure out what works for your processing.
Great.
For your brain. I chose cognitive. Cognitive really said, how do we get out of this? What do we do? What are the steps? And then you step back and say, what do I want my life to look like? Dream big. write it down, and then backward engineer yourself into that life. Because then you know the steps you're taking are leading you to that place you want to be. You also get to incorporate your values in that too. I know plenty of people who had a goal of the house and the boat and the car, and they're going to live on the hill, and they turn around and look at their lives, and they have the house, boat, and car,
Yes.
but the kids hate them. You know, they're divorced.
They're miserable.
Yeah, they're miserable, but
Yeah.
they let go of their values. So if you
didn't have much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can figure out what's important to you and is incorporated in those goals and incorporated in those recalibrations of life, you can get it all. You
Yeah.
know, you can have a big smile on your face. You can have a lot of joy.
I love that.
Gratitude.
I
Yeah.
have a mantra. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be the best thing that ever happened.
See?
I stick with
Absolutely.
you.
I love that.
Mine's simpler. Don't add it up. Just don't add it up.
I love that.
Just take a day, take a step over the problem, and go to the next step.
Yes.
Which ironically, I can't step over steps. So go figure.
But it's don't agonize. Don't agonize over those steps. Move on. Yeah.
Don't add them up.
Mm-hmm.
Never lose a day over a problem. Never lose a whole afternoon. If you get in a fight with your spouse, shake it off.
Yeah.
Shake it off. That's a good song, by the way.
Yeah.
Shake it off.
Where can people find the film and watch the film?
Well, we have
Apple.
our website, which is altitudenotAttitude.com.
Okay.
You can get to the trailer there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Maggie.
Yes, the to pre-order, you mean? Or to what?
To watch it, where can they see it?
Oh, to pre-order it, it's on iTunes.
Okay.
Yes,
iTunes.
on
Okay.
Apple.
And is there a
Yes.
website for it? That's
Mhm.
what Michael was saying.
Go ahead, Michael.
The
Well,
website?
no, what did you say? I'm sorry.
What's the website to find out more about the film?
Altitude Not Attitude.
Got it. Okay.
.com.
Yep.
I've really enjoyed this. Is there anything else you would like to leave us with?
I think, you know what, like I said, in this last year, we kind of came through a near-death experience, all of us, at different levels, whether it's really we had death in the family or, you know, we're told we're all going to die and we came through. We're going through political turmoil. We've gone through riots and just all kinds of negativity and change. Use this film to kind of bring a little light into your life. And you know what's kind of fun too is you get to see iconic spots. That was one of the goals. I know that statistically 7 out of 10 of us in our lifetimes will end up disabled.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
And what I wanted to show is, hey, guess what? I ended up disabled, but look how able I am.
Yes.
You know what?
Mhm.
I'm on a cruise ship with, you know, beautiful people cruising around, seeing the sights that everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Don't wait your lifetime to take a trip of a lifetime. You know what? Go grab this video and take a trip of a lifetime with us.
It's great.